morning, everybody.
This is Morning Announcements
With Millie
and Mr. I.
Today is
Thursday, May 14th.
Did you know that today is National
Dance Like a Chicken Day.
Are you going to dance like a chicken?
I guess.
I didn't know a chicken sounded like a dog. Decency Day
Buttermilk Biscuit Day.
and Underground America Day.
This is Ray J with the pledge.
We just to the side of the United States of America, to the republic to which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ray J. Happy birthday! Happy birthday today, Olivia.
She's in Mrs. George's second grade class.
And twin brothers, Garrett and Luke.
Are in Mrs. Saul's and Miss Walker's third grade class also. They share birthday director George Lucas,
Former Major League Baseball pitcher, Dennis Martinez.
author Owen Colfer,
Actress, Kate Blanchett.
and Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg.
Shout outs!
Mrs. Anderson would like to give a big shout out to Ellie for checking into the PE Google Classroom every day.
Nice job, Ellie.
This is Healthcare and Self-Care with Madison.
Hello, and welcome to Self-Care and Healthcare. Today we are going to talk about hand sanitizer. Did you know that when used correctly, hand sanitizer is 99.9% effective at killing germs? It's best to use sanitizer that is at least 60% alcohol. To properly use, apply enough product to cover all surfaces of your hand. And rub your hands together until hands feel dry. That's about 20 seconds. You could also sing the ABCs too. Do not rinse or wipe off the hand sanitizer before it dries. And remember, do not use hand sanitizer if your hands are visibly dirty or greasy. For more information, go to cdc.gov. This week's healthcare shout out is to Erin Christensen. Erin graduated from the Ocosta High School in 2003 and has been a nurse for 12 years. She works in the critical care department at the Grayson Community Hospital. And she wanted me to tell you guys that she Mr. C's coolest younger sister. I think she's younger. I don't know. But that's the healthcare shout out today, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, folks, remember not to be like Trevor when you're using a chainsaw. Remember to have your special gear on. What are you doing, kid?
Thank you, Madison.
Daily quote, put a smile on your face. It gives it something to do.
This quote was shared with us by Mrs. Rasmus. It's one of her favorite quotes. We'd like to continue these special segments, interviews with other people. Today, our very own weatherman, Grayson Bearden, is interviewing KING5 TV's weatherman, Rich Marriott. This is part one of a 3-part interview series.
My name is Grayson Bearden, and I am a 6th grader at Ocosta Elementary School in Westport. Thank you for joining us on the Ocosta News Network.
My pleasure. It's good to talk to some of our viewers out there along the coast towards Westport.
Could you start with letting our listeners know your name and where you live?
My name's Rich Marriott, and I live in Seattle. And I've lived here for, in the Seattle area for almost 50 years now.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm still trying to figure that out, as my managers are as well, trying to figure out what I do for a living. I am currently a meteorologist. I'm the morning on-air meteorologist for King TV in Seattle.
What does a meteorologist do?
Question my managers ask as well. That's basically what I do, and it's evolved over the years, but now I get up, I look at observations, what's going on with the weather right now, and that's looking at observations primarily from airports. We have a network, SchoolNet network, which gives me observations from all over the state in people's neighborhoods, and look at the Doppler radar, so I have an idea what the weather's doing right now. Usually the meteorologist before me will leave a handover note telling me what, for example, the evening person will leave me a handover note telling me, what went on during the afternoon and evening. Well, the evening particularly, because on my shift, we normally go to bed about 7:30, 8 o'clock, so we miss most of the evening. So I may not have known what the weather did. And then I sit down and look at computer models for the next hour or two, which are basically big mathematical models that are run by the National Weather Service and also run by the European consortium that runs the European model, and also a Canadian model as well. And I look at those, and from my training and looking at those, I'm able to forecast what the weather's going to do.
What is your educational background and what training is required to be a meteorologist?
Spotty. No, just kidding. I actually got interested in meteorology when I was in the 9th grade. I did a 9th grade science fair project. And when I was in high school, I got into a summer program at UCLA where I spent 6 weeks working with 3 different research groups at UCLA. And one of those groups hired me the next summer, and I worked for them. That was after my sophomore year that I went to the program. And then the next, after my junior year, I worked at UCLA. And then they hired me after I graduated and planned my life for me. And I ended up spending 8 years at UCLA working on degree and also just doing research. And my path is a little bit different than most people because I was doing research and really interested in research. And then I ended up moving to the University of Washington for 3 more years of grad school because grad research has a very nice lifestyle. Doesn't pay well, it has a nice lifestyle. And ended up working in snow and avalanches. But then I ended up with my work turned into what's the Northwest Weather and Avalanche Center. And I was hired as a meteorologist by the Forest Service, worked for them for 15 years in the National Weather Service office, and got hired by King, for some reason, to do morning weather for them. That's been my career path. Like I said, spotty. But there are easier paths to do this.
How long have you been a meteorologist?
Oh, let's see. I've been a forecasting meteorologist for let's see what years this is. It'll be 45 years this December when I first started forecasting up here. Long time. Longer than most of my co-workers' lives.
What is your favorite part of your job?
I love the weather. I do really enjoy the weather. I enjoy forecasting. I enjoy being right. I do my forecast and then I watch what the weather does the rest of the day. And one of the nice things about the internet, and this happened when I was first doing forecasting, if I couldn't figure out what's going on, I had to drive back into the office to see the weather maps, and we didn't even have radar in those days. And now I can just go sit down on my computer and look and see how I went wrong. So it's easier. I always say that with all this instrumentation, we find out that we're wrong much more quickly than we used to.
How has social distancing affected you and your job?
Honestly, not a lot, because I have really all the products I have at work. I have here in my office / studio now / schoolhouse where I teach first grade part of the day. So in terms of all that, it's still the same. I think last count I had 7 computers in here right now. So it's a pretty busy place in the morning. I'm not looking forward to my electrical bill when it comes in this spring. Probably, honestly, the thing I miss most is spending time with the people I work with, directly with them. I get to talk to Jake and Mimi on the air. Sometimes it's a little tough because there's about a second delay. Mimi is there, but there's about a second delay for me getting to the station, a second delay for Jake. When we're talking to Mimi, it's not a problem, but when we talk to each other, it's a 2-second delay. And that starts to be more of a problem to carry on a normal conversation. So we don't get a chance we always have lots of off-air conversations, and we text each other in the morning, but it's not quite the same. That is the primary thing I miss. I do have one coworker that's here part of the time because my wife is a director of the morning news. And so they have 2 directors in the morning, and the way I have it set up now, one is in the studio during the week, and the other one works from home, coding the show, sitting at what they call the backbench. So every other week, my wife is in her little control booth downstairs, and I'm upstairs here in the weather center. It's interesting.
What have been some of the other challenges that you faced?
In terms of weather or
In terms of social distancing and coronavirus.
social distancing, honestly, it really has not affected me much. Probably the primary thing is my day is much longer now because I finish up my work on air around 9, between 9 and 11. I'm doing emails, and I'm normally off the air and done by 9 o'clock with that part of my job. And so I'm working on that, but also school starts about then. So I'm doing stuff with my son while he's, like his reading assignment or whatever happens to be that day from his teacher. So I'm doing that while I'm emailing the station, and then we slide on. And so I'm not normally done until I sit down at the computer between 2 and 2:30 here, and I'm not really finished in here until usually between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the days are long. That said, I'm having a great time. Now, the first 2 months were really stressful because I had no idea how to be a teacher or what I was teaching by and large at first grade level. And now it's organized. And so it's actually really, I'm going to kind of miss this part of my day when it's over.
Thank you, Grayson. I look forward to seeing the other 2 parts. And this is Grayson with the weather.
Thank you, Mr. Marriott, for that great interview. And now for today's regularly scheduled Ocosta News weather. Hello and welcome to today's morning announcement. I am your host of today's Ocosta News weather, Grayson Bearden. But first, let's go over yesterday's forecast. It was a typical spring day in Westport yesterday. We had some rainy, breezy weather along with some sun breaks. Our high was around 57 degrees and our low was around 49. And now back to me in the studio. Thank you, me, for that recap of yesterday's weather. And now for today's. It looks like our high is going to be around 57 degrees and our low will be around 48. It is forecasted to be cloudy with a 50% chance of rain and some sunshine in the afternoon. Our sunrise is at 5:41 a.m. and our sunset will be at 8:44 p.m. And that's all for today's edition of Ocosta News Weather for the Thursday, May 14th, morning announcements. I hope you enjoyed my interview with the king of meteorologists. Thank you, stay safe, and have a great day.
Thank you, Grayson. We'd like to continue with these series of pictures of doves taken out in our communities.
Stay tuned to the end to find where he is. Crazy laws. You can't use dynamite to catch fish in Pennsylvania. Why would anybody want to use dynamite? It could just boom, the fish.
Boom!
Anyways,
You'd have fish burger then.
yes, you'd have to find it first. If you'd like to contact us with no ideas, here are emails below. Thank you for watching your morning announcements. Don't forget, Dubs was at Garfield, trying to hit some home runs. See you next time on Ocosta News.
And remember, be a good kid. Do the right thing.
You like pickles?
I like sour ones, but not the sweet ones.
I like dill pickles.
Yeah, those are the best ones.
Do you like pizza?
How do you not? It can be any flavor. It's like, do you like sandwiches? Of course, because you can make them any flavor.
True.
Yeah. Those are great questions. Wow. I feel so honored to really get to the deep heart of who I am. Pickles and pizza.
I can't laugh so hard. I can't even talk.